went out last night. I'm a little dragging. I can own this. But my hips and feet hurt from dancing, so that's my favorite kind of ache. Head is a little bit hurty too. But there was no way I was missing today because today is my 30th episode. I have been uploading for 1 month and it has been a huge, fun learning adventure. Obviously, my sound quality is a little better. I'm working on improving my visual quality, and that will improve shortly. And I do believe in my purpose and my mission. So I hope that everything will just continue to improve. And thank you for joining me if you have. And invite some people to join us here. I think what we're doing is worthwhile. So as an extension, what I want to talk about today is one of the things that I value highly, although it's not in my top 5 values. Welcome to Body of Truth. I am Rebecca Windsor. Body of Truth was born after years of suppressing my own inner voice and intuition. I had absolute upheaval in my life. My marriage ended quite suddenly. My son left for college, and I was left completely alone to rebuild my life from scratch. And so I knew that there were things that I wanted to include from my old life, but I also knew there were a lot of fundamental changes that needed to happen if I wanted any kind of change to happen. And so the 3 steps that I did was I allowed my intuition and inner voice to start to speak up, and I started to really listen to it. I also got very clear on what I wanted, and I also found that to make any of these changes possible, I did need to allow them to absorb up and through my physical body, practicing things again and again and again until they became a muscle memory. So I am changing my physical structure of my body, and then my outside world also changed in accordance with that. So I hope to offer you all of the tips and techniques that I have used to find this freedom for myself, and I hope to share them with you, and I also hope to maybe provoke you to listen to your own intuition a little more closely. So part of my celebration of my 30th episode, along with being a little tired and a little hungover, is that I'm staying consistent. I made a promise on my first video that I would upload every day. Now, I don't know if that's every day forever, but it is for sure 365 days. So I am, first of all, re-upping my vow that it is going to be an everyday upload, and I will not miss a day. Maybe there might be a day where I have to kind of pre-do one, but short of any cataclysmic thing happening, I will upload daily. So that kind of consistency and keeping that promise to myself is part of the changes that I have enacted in this new life of mine. So my 3rd highest held value is discipline. Now, I was not a very disciplined person growing up. I just kind of went by the seat of my pants. I definitely was not diligent and did my homework. I was not, if you ask my family, they would tell you that discipline is not how they would describe me at all. Free spirit, maybe. A little ditzy at times, absolutely. Leave your jacket on the bus again, not even a surprise. But in my new life, I found that keeping these promises that I made to myself has made a huge difference, right? So I've talked before about the 4 quadrants of our lives that I learned from a mentor of mine. The first being your body, tending to your body every day in the form of using it, movement, working out, dancing, however you want to use your body physically, feeding it right. Those are the 2 parts of body for me. For my relationship with God, meditation is incredibly important. I do that daily, and I also journal daily. For balance, I always am making sure that 2 people in my life know that I am grateful to have them in it. And I got to tell you, that's as much as a gift for me as it is for the recipient. I mean, it just feels so good to do that. And sometimes my beneficiary is myself, and don't forget that that's important. And then dollars and career. I do one thing, either it's a business book I'm reading or, learning a new skill, which I have been learning multiple new skills. And I do that daily. I do all of those things every single day, and I make time to do them. I schedule them into my day, because by keeping that promise of consistency to myself, and you can find someone else that you want to be accountable with, but I would argue that the only people that you really are accountable to are the promises you make to yourself and the promises you make to God, because God knows anyway. You're not fooling God. So I would say that, again, if you need an accountability buddy, great. If you need some outside motivation or like some accolades, especially if you live by yourself and maybe you feel a little bit isolated, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Whatever makes it work for you. But the consistency is the secret, because every day those transparent layers that seem like they don't mean anything. Like, listen, my ass dragged on my 2-mile walk today. It sure did, but I did it. And it wasn't even a question, was I not going to do it? I was doing it. And because I keep that promise to myself, this little transparent day of a day today that I will not be able to recall probably in a week, created this microcosmic, tiny little bit of a transparent layer. But you build enough of those layers and that brick is gold. Because first of all, it does a couple of things. It creates a reservoir of strength. So when you are depleted, I got hit by COVID and it knocked the fuck out of me. But because I was in such good health, I think that I fared far better than other people. And I see how people can succumb to it for sure. So I really deeply feel that it gives you a reserve. So like if you're in a pinch and you've got to push through and you've got a deadline, or it gives you a reserve of energy and it gives you a reserve of resolve, what you have decided is important to you. So you will push through and complete something that you've made a promise to yourself about. So, and those bricks turn to gold. And the gold is what we're after, right? So you're keeping a promise to yourself. You're creating, and these little steps every single day are how you're going to create the life that you want. I mean, it is nothing I'm saying here is groundbreaking. And you know it all intellectually. But if you do not feel these promises in your body, willpower will never get you there. And even just knowing your why, I would say, will not get you there. It's incredibly important to know your underlying motivating factor, right? So I am compelled by God to share my mistakes, my victories, in the hope that my contribution of airing it all out, because I do not hold back, I promise that, will help someone in need. That is my absolute why. But if I'm not consistent, that one person that was supposed to hear that one message, maybe it's today, wouldn't get it. And I wouldn't be showing up for them, who I'm trying to help, the exact people I'm trying to help. So now I'm not just breaking a promise to myself, I'm breaking my covenant, because God gave me these gifts to use them, not to hide them. He gave them to me to share. And I would offer that to you too. Do not hide your gifts. Share them proudly, because you were given them for a reason. And so you're keeping a promise to yourself. You're keeping a promise, a covenant that you made with God, and you're getting the results in your life that you desire. That's the most important thing. We are all here to live the lives that we desire. A life of freedom that we choose, not that happens to us, that we design. And the only way you're going to do that is with simple steps taken every day. It is so simple, but the juice is consistency. You will get nowhere running a marathon with no training. So one of the things, I'm just going to make a Rebecca rant. Here it comes. One of the things I resent very much is my ex is a professional sailboat racer, okay? So he races across the ocean, often with just one other person on board a 40-foot boat, okay? It's them, and there's hundreds of miles between them and the next boat. They have a tracker. The Coast Guard can find them. But people that just decide, I'm going to have the balls to sail around the world, and they get on a boat with no training or experience, and now they're putting their lives in the hands of trained professionals that are there to save them, but because they didn't do the work, the background work, the rigor and discipline that it takes to embark on a trip like that, you're putting my ex's life in danger because he's the one who only sets off the alarm for the Coast Guard if he really needs it. And they're going to be off saving some yokel that should have learned, for 3 years how to sail his coastal waters. The book Wild drives me nuts. The fact that woman hefted her pack and started her trek. She hefted her pack for the first time to start her journey. Put the miles in. Pay your dues. Show up every day. So today is a day where I get to show up, and I just gave myself a little fire to end the rest of my day strong, to practice what you preach, to practice what I preach. Showing up every day, for better or for worse, for every promise that you keep to yourself. And I don't care what your promises to yourself are. They're not going to be the same as mine. Your goals aren't the same as mine. But if you enact and you keep those promises, your life will seem like it magically transforms. And meanwhile, you did all the work yourself. But you did it consistently. I hope you found this useful. A little bit of a kick in the ass, perhaps. I kicked my own self in the ass now, and now I'm so excited to finish the rest of my day in a complete new place of power. So I thank you. If you did find this valuable at all, please subscribe. Share it with someone that you think would benefit from it. And I upload every day. And I will see you tomorrow.